Yo, what up, Lakers fans? You're watching the Los Angeles Lakers Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green, and we're going to talk about the latest Los Angeles Lakers trade rumors in today's show. They once again circle around the Brody, Russell Westbrook, but this time with a different team that we haven't really talked about too much on the show. The latest Westbrook rumors state that the Lakers are reportedly targeting Josh Richardson and Doug McDermott in trade talks. This is what Spurs Talk LJ Ellis put out on their website earlier this week and said, according to a source, the Los Angeles Lakers have targeted Richardson and McDermott in a trade that would involve Russell Westbrook. However, talks haven't gained traction because the Lakers are only willing to relinquish a pair of second-round picks in return for both players. Richardson, 41.9%, and McDermott, 43.1%, have been shooting extremely well from three-point range this season for the Spurs. Considering the Lakers are last in the league in three-point shooting at 28%, Los Angeles may eventually decide to increase their offer for San Antonio's sharpshooting duo. If the Spurs do land Westbrook in a trade, the sources say the Spurs would buy out his contract and allow him to become a free agent. The Spurs emerging as a potential trade partner for Russell Westbrook, I think makes best sense for both sides. Let's first talk about the Spurs side, then we'll talk about the Lakers. If you're the Spurs, a team that's really not trying to win games right now, has a lot of young, talented players, and going to have a top pick in 2023, why wouldn't you want a $47 million expiring contract? I think that's why it makes sense for the Spurs. Why it makes sense for the Lakers, just like the article said. The Lakers are one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the association, and when you add guys like Doug McDermott, who is a sniper from downtown, and you add a guy like Josh Richardson, who's not only a good shooter, a little bit streaky at times, but he can handle the ball a little bit, and is a solid to sometimes a great perimeter defender, I think makes this team better immediately. Those two players fit perfectly with a guy like LeBron James. Could you imagine LeBron James throwing half-court dimes into the corner for Dougie McBucket, just spotting up and letting it fly? Then you have Josh Richardson playing defense, knocking down catch-and-shoot threes. I think this trade makes sense for both sides, and sometimes you don't really see that in the NBA. And when you do, it really, really benefits both sides. And I think this is a trade on screen right now that me and producer Coop, Lord Coop, were cooking up in the office today. Josh Richardson, Doug McBuckets. You give up Russell Westbrook, and they said they were only so far willing to give up a pair of second-round picks. I think if you add in that 2027 first-round pick, I think Popovich and the Spurs would make this trade. It makes sense for both sides. And no, Russell Westbrook would not play for the San Antonio Spurs, so everyone wins. It would be a buyout. Russ gets to be a free agent. He gets to choose his next destination. The Spurs get major salary cap relief. They go into the summer of 2023 with assets in the draft, young players, and draft capital, as well as the Lakers adding two players that I think improve your championship window of right now. If the Lakers are serious about competing, they need to make a trade and add shooters to this roster. And this trade on screen right here, it absolutely does that. So I want to ask the Lakers Report real ones out there right now. Would you do this trade? You get Doug, you get Josh, two wing players that can shoot it. Doug, not really a good defender, but Josh Richardson is. He's a guy that could close a lot of games next to Beverly, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. That foursome right there is pretty damn good if you ask me. But I'll ask you guys, would you do this trade? Type D for deal or ND for no deal. Sound off in the comment section down below. And I do want to tell you about our proud sportsbook partner, BetUS. When you go to chatsports.com/Lakers, that is chatsports.com/Lakers, and use the promo code Lakers125, they're going to hook you up with a 125% deposit bonus. Put $100 into your account, they'll give you a free $125 to spend. You can bet on the Lakers, you can bet on literally anything at BetUS. Look, get started today. You're not going to find a better starting offer and a starting special with a sports book. So do it with our proud sports book, BetUS. Chatsports.com/Lakers. Promo code Lakers125. The Lakers defense collapsed in the most recent game against the Utah Jazz. The Lakers gave up 139 points in regulation to the tanking, or not really tanking because they're actually winning basketball games right now, and they're atop of the West, the Utah Jazz. The Lakers, they're 2-8 on the year. They had that 2-game winning streak after they lost, I think, the first 5 games of the season. I understand the Jazz want to play up tempo, and they have some young scorers, but you can't give up 140 points in regulation to the Utah Jazz. And despite 140-point performance, the Lakers' defense hasn't actually been all that bad. This year, they have a defensive rating of 110, which is 12th best in the NBA. They're giving up just 108 points per game, which is 5th. And they're allowing the other teams to shoot 44% from the field, which is 5th best. So I don't know if it was just a one-game thing where they just got shot out of the gym and they weren't rotating, and it was just an admiration, and it wasn't something that's going to consistently happen. But I do think it's a problem, and I hope it's just not a trend that's going to continue. Their defense has actually been decent through the first 10 games of the year. I mean, on a night where you score 116 points, you have to find a way to win. You can't give up 140 points to the Utah Jazz. I think Darvin Ham is going to get them right on the defensive end. LeBron James and Anthony Davis, they're just too strong of competitors, I would say, to let that continuously happen for the Lakers. I think that's just going to be a one-time thing, but man, it's something that you got to take a look at, and you can't let it happen again. 140 points to the Utah Jazz. It is unacceptable. So I want to ask this question. Are you concerned about the Lakers' defense? 140 points, 139, but I'm going to round up because it just sounds a little bit worse. Are you concerned about the Lakers' defense? Scale up from 1 to 10. 1 being you're not concerned at all, 10 being you're absolutely concerned. Go ahead, scale your confidence or concern level in the Lakers defense down in the comments. And also make sure you're subscribed to the Los Angeles Lakers Report, youtube.com/LakersTV. We're continuing to up our coverage, put out videos almost every single day on the latest Lakers news and rumors. And with the trade deadline getting closer and closer, and us really getting into the heartbeat of the NBA season, our coverage is only going to heat up. So lock us in, hit that big red button, subscribe, youtube.com/LakersTV. The Lakers have a couple tough games coming up. You got 3 games in 4 days. You got the Clippers, you got the Kings, and the Nets. Going to be a tough game against the Clippers, but anything can happen in that Los Angeles rivalry. You're playing the Kings. They've won a couple of tough games. They're not as bad. They're not just the Sacramento Kings, but at the end of the day, it's a team that the Lakers should absolutely beat. The Nets, that's going to be a game that a lot of people thought might be a future NBA Finals matchup, but the way both teams look right now, it looks like both those teams are heading towards the lottery. Then you get to play a young team in the Pistons and Jaden Ivey and Cade Cunningham. They're going to play against the San Antonio Spurs, so you'll get an up-close look at Josh Richardson, and Doug McDermott. So these next stretch, you got 5 games in the next 11 games. You have to rack up some W's. You come out of this stretch and you only have 3 or 4 wins, it might be time to look in the mirror and really see what you have with this team going forward. Might it be time to trade Anthony Davis if you lose 5 in a row? Might it be time to start selling assets? It's going to be an interesting week and a half coming up for the Lakers. I know this, though. We'll be here. We're going to continue to break everything down and make Lakers videos almost every single day. I appreciate everyone that has tuned in today and made the Lakers Report a part of their day. So if you made it this far in the video, show me you're a real one by typing real one in the comment section right now.